All right, I want to talk about setting goals. We're at the beginning of 2024. You can see the holiday decorations behind me. So I'm setting my goals for the 2024 school year. So I'm going to share with you my thought process and how I go about setting my goals. Now, these videos are really geared towards beginning teachers, first, second, and third year teachers. Obviously, any teacher can benefit from them, but um, if you're a first year teacher, even a second year teacher, your goal may be as simple as getting through the school year. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think back about my career, and the only needs improvement I ever got over my 27-year career was my first year of teaching. I got a needs improvement in lesson plans. The assistant principal was told to crack down on lesson plans. He went around from teacher to teacher, and I got caught up in that. Now, I could take two schools of thought on that. One, blame the assistant principal for cracking down on lesson plans, or take a look in the mirror and make sure that never happens again. So that's what I did is I looked in the mirror, said, let's never let that happen again. There was credibility. The lesson plans were sketchy. There was, I think, maybe 4 lines written then. I had a game plan of what I was going to execute, but they certainly weren't up to the standards that the state expects. So since that day, I've never gotten a needs improvement on lesson plans ever again. So if you're a beginning teacher, first, second, third year teacher, and there are things that you want to improve upon, set them as goals for the rest of the year and the beginning of next year. Um, okay, so when I begin my goal setting process, the first thing I do is prioritize them. And for all of us, our top priority is family and friends. If we're not taking care of our relationships with our families and friends, we can't be effective teachers. Why are we even doing this? So that is the most important thing is setting goals for your family and friends. And I'm actually going to write them out and share them with you. I'll share you my goals for my kids, my goal for my relationship with my wife, and you can take a look at them and see if it's something you want to do with your family. The second goal is health. You're not going to be an effective teacher if you're always sick or if you are not taking care of yourself. You're going to be more effective for everybody if you take care of your health. And I'll tell you what I do to stay in shape. I'm 57, and when I tell people that, it floors them. People think I'm in my late 30s or early 40s. That's because I've taken pretty good care of myself, and I'll share with you what I did there. Then I get to the most important job to me, which is teaching. And I'll share with you my thoughts on teaching. Then I address the recruiting business I own. I own a medical pharmaceutical sales recruiting business. I'm only going to touch on that because that's a completely different issue, and most of you probably don't own businesses. Then I talk about my YouTube channel. That's really a labor of love and a hobby, but I do want to share and convey all the things I've learned over the last 27 years so that they're passed on to future generations and teachers can incorporate some of the things I've learned, especially from the mistakes I've made, and not make them themselves. And then anybody who knows me well knows that another labor of love is the Florida scrub jay, trying to get it named state bird. And that's student driven, and I will help them in whatever ways I can. So let's get to the rest of the goal setting video. Teaching is a job, and that is something that I struggled with my very first 3 years of teaching. Not just the first year, but the second year and third year of teaching is I really struggled with maintaining balance of not letting teaching completely dominate my life. And that's why I shared this with you is that teaching is a job. And a lot of that has to do with how competitive I am and how important it is to me to receive validation. So I threw everything I had into teaching just like I would anything else. And it was with the help of my wife that I was able to find balance. I remembered a statement back when I was in real estate that a gentleman was talking about penciling in family time and time with your significant other, just like you would a CEO. So you need to, and I highly encourage you to do this, write down dates in your planner that you're going to do something with your significant other. For us, it's shelling. My wife and I love to go out and find sea glass and shell together. So, believe it or not, when I'm done with recording this video, I'm going to take a look at all of the tides over the next year for Fort DeSoto, for Paso Grill, and for New Smyrna Beach and Fort Lauderdale, and find negative low tides and circle those dates as potential dates, depending on weather, to go out with my wife and find sand dollars and shell. Um, so you may not have to do anything as sophisticated as looking through tide charts and selecting dates. That works for us. But certainly put dates in there at least once or twice a month where you're going to get together with your significant other and make them goals. Because if you're not right with your family and you're not maintaining balance with your family and or friends, why are you doing this? It's a job. It's the most important job in the world, don't get me wrong, but it is a job. You need to maintain balance. Family and friends come first. With my daughter, she loves sci-fi conventions. So I will probably once a quarter, once every 3 months, select a sci-fi convention that she and I will attend together with the rest of the family. And believe it or not, we might even cosplay. Sometimes I'm 6'5". I'll throw on the Darth Vader outfit, and it's a lot of fun. Um, and then my son loves rock hounding. So my goal for this year is to get out with him at least once a quarter and go to some rock shows, purchase some rocks, maybe even purchase a couple of opals for him to cut up and see what happens. So you can see my goal on the left side. I've got them written down. But the important thing is that you find balance between this job that can take everything from you. Teaching can be all consuming if you let it. And find a balance. You need to find balance with family and teaching. So if you take nothing else away from this video, take away this. At least once or twice a month, pencil in dates with your significant other if you want to maintain that relationship. I've been married for 33 years. This will be 34. And that comes from not taking the other person for granted and listening, and most importantly, maintaining the friendship. One of the things that I get complimented on for these videos a lot is that I really put myself out there. So I'm going to talk to you about health. Um, you've got to maintain your health for the classroom or really for anything in life. If you're not healthy, you're not going to be effective and you're not going to feel good and you're just going to be miserable. So most of my life I've been in very, very good shape. I'm 57 years old. Most people think I'm in my late 30s, early 40s, and when I tell them I'm 57, they're just floored. How have I done that? I've done that by working out a lot. And basically, I'll run a lot of high intensity workouts. I ask myself, when was I in the best shape of my life? And that's when I used to play tennis and basketball. So I do a lot of high intensity workouts. My current workout is 40 80-yard dashes. I will do 40 80-yard dashes with some basic basketball drills mixed in. Now, I don't expect anybody to go out there and do that. Certainly don't try to do that unless you talk to a doctor first and come up with a plan of action. There was a point, and I don't remember when or why, but I got up. Right now, I bounce around between 215 to 220. My ideal weight's probably about 210. There was a point where I got up to 245. My back hurt, my knees hurt. I just I felt like crap. I felt really low energy, felt terrible, and I'm never going to let that happen again. And, but in order to move from that to where I am right now, I started out with 25 40-yard, what I would call jogs, then moved that to 20 40-yard dashes. Then I got to a point where I was doing 40-yard dashes. And then I got to a point where I was up to 40 80-yard dashes. And that's where I currently am. After knee surgery, again, wasn't in the best shape and it was difficult to run on that knee. And so I had to start out by walking those 25, 40-yard dashes. Then I jogged the 25, 40-yard dashes. Then I ran the 40-yard dashes. Then I had a combination, a mixture of uh, 40-yard dashes and 80-yard dashes. Moral of the story is this: I believe in high intensity workouts, but you have to get there. And before you do any of that, I would consult a doctor and I would come up with a plan of action with that doctor. Don't take any of this as advice without consulting a doctor first. But it's important that you take care of yourself. The other thing that I have food allergies, and that's been a huge blessing in disguise, which is I don't eat gluten. I don't eat soy. I don't eat canola oil, which leaves me with fruits, vegetables, and very, very little sugar. You'll never see me drinking a soft drink with the exception of holidays. My wife makes a punch with ginger ale in it, and I usually, so 3 or 4 times a year, I will have some ginger ale. And 5 or 6 times a year, I will have some gluten-free brownies. That's the only sugar or processed sugar you'll ever see me ingest. And it's made a huge difference. After I eat sugar, because I eat it so infrequently, and I go out and run, I can feel how much slower it makes me, how much energy it takes out of me. Sugar is bad news, man. So just again, some thoughts I have about health and how to maintain a healthy lifestyle is consult with a doctor, come up with a plan of action. Don't push yourself too hard because one of the things after my knee surgery, I pushed myself too hard twice and ended up having setbacks. Stay in shape and hopefully you'll come get some ideas out of this section of the video. This is a really good section for you to see that I put my money where my mouth is. So every year, my goal is to improve my pass rate by 5%, as far as the standardized test for college credit that my students take. So taking a look at last year's pass rate, and we set a new school record for my subject for the pass rate last year, which I'm incredibly proud of, very proud of the students. And I'd like to build on that. So I'm going to take a look at this year's class and figure out how we're going to increase that. And the strategy, the theory I have is this. I asked the students last year when they were exiting the class, what helped them the most? And the thing that helped them the most was I have them put all the key terms on flashcards and then definitions, examples, and a drawing representing that particular concept on the back of the note card. And the students told me that that helped them a lot, but it would have been better if I'd started doing that at the beginning of the year. So at the beginning of this year, I made what I call mandatory note cards that the students have to do for class. Every chapter I go through and I find key concepts and I have them put them on flashcards. Now, we've been doing it since the beginning of the year, and I've actually let them use those note cards on a couple of tests just to encourage them to do them. I've been checking those note cards to make sure they're keeping them current, and I'm hoping that that gives us the little 5% bump. Now, there are some headwinds I'm facing this year that may push us back a little bit. I have some concerns about some of the headwinds we're facing as far as some particular issues specific to my classes this year. And so I'm hopeful it helps, but I'm also at the end of the year, if this doesn't work, then I'm still going to try it again next year. And I'm going to speak with administration about a couple other things that we can do. Again, I'm hoping it works. We'll see if it works. But if it doesn't, then I'm going to try it again next year as well. But I'm also going to address those 2 or 3 headwinds that I think that we can remove as far as obstacles for the students' performance this year. Um, Another goal I have for this year is to increase enrollment for next year's classes for both my students for college credit and my students for ecology. I want to increase enrollment for both classes so that can fill up two teachers' complete schedules. That is my goal for this. And then my third goal is the ecology class. Every year I'm trying to build on it and add some more hands-on activities and activities that will make it fun, which again goes back to my goal, which will increase enrollment as students are talking about it. Now, when I'm talking about increasing enrollment, I'm very strategic about that. We have a field trip planned right when the students are putting together their schedules so that the students will be talking about the field trip they went to see scrub jays at the same time that students are enrolling, and that will probably grab at least a few students saying, "Hey, I want to do that next year. What class was that?" So again, be strategic. When you look at a goal, if you think something is outside your control, like enrollment, there's a couple of things you can do. I'm going to send a group of students out to classes I think would be good feeder classes into my classes and have them talk about the class. And then I'm going to take them on a field trip while people are enrolling in classes. And the third thing is I post a lot of pictures and stuff um, on a internal server that students have access to in the school so they can see what we're doing in class. So I'm very strategic about all of these things. I hope this gives you some ideas. If you are a first, second, or third year teacher, and I would look at your evaluation and talk to administration about things that you might want to implement into your goals. My first couple of years, again, I talked about earlier, lesson plans were a goal of mine in year two. I never wanted to get another needs improvement on an evaluation ever again. So I focused on that. And it's a good idea for you to take a look at and say, what would I want to be better at? Ask administrators, what do you want me to focus on? Include those in your teaching goals. Hopefully, this is something you can't relate to, but it's possible you do, which is my primary job is teaching. Love it. Absolutely think it's the most important job in the world and continue to do it. I've got 3 years left until retirement, and so I can plan on doing those 3 years and then another 8 years and drop. I plan on doing the full 11. That is the game plan. But in order to be able to do that and afford to do that, I have to work a second job. For about a decade, I was a medical pharmaceutical sales recruiter, and it was a great supplement to my teaching. I actually made more money in my part-time job or recruiting. Actually, it's really a more accurate statement. My second full-time job, I made more money in my second full-time job than I did teaching. As a matter of fact, a couple of times it was significantly more. Um, about 3 years ago, I left to open up my own recruiting business, and I have a team that works for me. And I'm going to sit down with them, help them set their goals so that each of them can hit their goals. My goal from day one and through today is 2 placements a month, 6 new clients a year. And now I add to that list of goals the goals of my colleagues, which is uh, hopefully they want to make at least 1 placement a month, and if they do, I will show them how to get there. I'll take a look at their goals and help them set them. Again, like I said, I'll just touch on this briefly because I doubt most of you all are recruiters out there. You may work a second job, and again, set those goals, put those goals into your planner, and go from there. Ironically, we're at my next goal, which is my YouTube channel. It's pretty far down the list. And probably aside from, actually, it probably receives the least amount of attention of all my personal goals. Even though I have Scrub J ranked lower, YouTube channel probably gets the least amount of my time and effort. I need to go back and do a whole host of things ranging from SEO to reading through the descriptions and adding verbiage. Um, the YouTube channel is a labor of love, which is this. I just want to pass on what I've learned over the last 27 years to anyone who wants to listen. I think I've done a great job of mentoring new teachers, and I love problem solving. I love hearing about issues that beginning teachers, first, second, and third year teachers are having, and sharing the things that I've learned along the way, the things I've done right, the things I've done wrong, and providing advice when I can. But I am, again, I'm goal oriented, and my personality, I need validation. So in order for me to get the validation I personally need, again, I really put myself out there on these videos. You guys get the true Kris Cole here. So to get the validation, that's why I love awards and accomplishments, is it gives me the validation that I'm looking for. So my validation on this is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the summer. That is, I've actually been pleasantly surprised how fast the channel is growing. I'm picking up a lot of subscribers, so I must be doing at least something right, even though I'm sure all the SEO and the job or the video descriptions are just a train wreck. If I actually go back and clean them up, it might help me meet my goal, and I might do that. But again, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers, because that puts me 10% of the way to my real goal. My real goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers for one simple reason, is that at that point, at 10,000 subscribers, I get a little plaque or an award from YouTube saying you're actually an influencer, which would be really, really cool. It's again, it's so low on my priority list, it's not even funny, but it would be a real nice little validation of that the YouTube channel was worth my time, and uh, again, validation. That is just that simple. So to hit that goal, I'm going to continue to produce at least one video a week. A lot of times I batch record them. I've set aside today, January 3rd, to batch record probably 6 or 7 videos of things I want to talk about, and go from there. I also like to go into the Facebook chat rooms and read through the issues that new teachers are struggling with, and then shoot videos to share with them. So I will continue to do that. If you're watching this from the Facebook feed, hey, nice to meet you. So again, that's a goal, 10,000 subscribers. I don't know when I'll hit that goal, but I know to get 10% of the way, I'd like to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thanks. If you ever want to accuse me of hypocrisy, here's your opportunity. There is a hypocritical component to this, which is that the Florida scrub jay is at the bottom of my priority list. It is a priority. It's a project the students have been working on for 25 years. And so it may not be as hypocritical as I originally thought it was, in the sense that it circles back to priority number 3, which is teaching. It's been a incredibly powerful teaching tool as far as letter writing, civics, debate, government, incorporating all of those into ecology and environmental science. But it's been a huge time eater. It takes a lot of time. In order to set up these meetings with representatives and senators, and have the students go out on Saturday hikes to film scrub jays, to meet them, the field trips, the time it takes to plan field trips, and all of the other personal time. We give up a lot of weekends to go in and be involved with scrub jay stuff, so the students can promote their mission of getting the Florida scrub jay designated state bird. If you take all of that time that is not during school hours, it's a lot of time over the last 25 years. And the opportunity cost of what I could be doing in the recruiting business is huge. It's probably 6 figures. As a matter of fact, I'm sure it's at least 6 figures that this project has cost me as far as personal compensation, but it's worth it, which is the students. It's an incredibly powerful lesson where students have their voice heard, where they learn civics and they learn real government. So it's really cool from that standpoint. And so I'm happy to deal with that opportunity cost. So again, the scrub jay makes the priority list. The students and I are going to discuss what they would like to do. I know they've picked at least a few Saturdays this upcoming semester to where they want to go out and film Scrub J videos, take pictures of them, do some interviews out there, go for a couple Scrub J hikes. There's a host of things we're going to be doing as far as this project goes. So it comes with a large personal cost, but I'm happy to do it. And it circles back to goal number 3. In summary, don't be cliche about setting your goals this year. Don't pick a couple random goals that you may or may not hit. Be strategic about what goals you're going to set. Set attainable goals, realistic goals that you can hit, and make sure, if nothing else, you focus on those family goals or friendship goals. Those are the most important. I can tell you that you don't get to 33 years of marriage if you don't work on the friendship. Um, Anyone who's been married for 3 decades or more knows you have to focus on the friendship, and that involves putting time in your planner, setting aside a couple days a month to where you work on the friendship. Otherwise, again, it's not going to turn out well. So when you talk about the hierarchy of needs, you got to take care of family first before you can be an effective teacher. So happy New Year to you. Hope this video has helped. If you've enjoyed this video, you can help me hit my YouTube goals by liking the video and potentially subscribing. Thank you for your time. Have a great school year. Keep being awesome and keep being heroes. Colster out. Thanks.